Hi, everybody. First of all, I want to apologize for the low video quality here. I I originally set up this channel because I was going to do uh, welding and gardening videos. Making planters and planting plants in the planters and stuff like that. Things that I think are interesting that I'm pretty good at. And I haven't really gotten around to actually finish any videos. I've made a few, but I haven't really edited them. Um, and I certainly wasn't going to do Hollywood or legal commentary because I'm not a lawyer and I don't really know that much about Hollywood. But I have gotten totally sucked into this Blake Lively case, and I've gone way down the rabbit hole on all of the legal cases. And quite frankly, most of the commentary that I see on YouTube and the comments on Facebook have just pissed me off. They're just such an utter, complete lack of logic and reason that they just drive me absolutely nuts. Um, a couple of standout exceptions, if you're really into learning something about the case. Ofidoki does two or three really good videos about it. Skepchick does some really good videos about it. Legal Eagle did a pretty good video about it, although he didn't really dive into Baldoni's case that much. Um, but he's one of the few attorneys that's actually ventured an opinion. Most of the other attorneys seem to just read the case and then act like both sides are even and there's no way to pick out a winner. Um, and that really, really bothers me because in his New York Times case, in order to believe him, you have to believe that, well, first of all, you have to just disregard the fact that emojis often can't be rendered. And that's like a known thing. You can Google it, you can find 50 white papers on how emojis can't be rendered by forensic software. But just put that aside. If you totally believe him, then you also have to believe that Steph Jones had her attorney take the phone specifically to set up a chain of custody, and then she committed about 50 felonies to answer Blake Lively's subpoena, and then also used those forged documents in her own lawsuit seeking money. Um, I suppose you could think that. I mean, Steph Jones might do that. Steph Jones' attorney doing that seems a little less likely. But that's what you have to believe if you believe the New York Times suit. But now he's got this new suit where he's filed against Blake Lively for $400 million. And it's very long. You should totally read it because he does make some good points. One of the good points that he makes in this case is that there was always a nudity rider and she never signed it. That seems kind of important. But then he also says that he never even had a contract with Blake Lively, and yet they paid her. Well, I have some experience in business. I've ran businesses before. That seems weird to me. I don't know very many business people who run their business like that, where they're paying the staff with no contract. They have no actual expectation in writing of what the job is. That's odd. But then he follows that up and he says, that Blake Lively made it all up. It's all just completely connived. Everything that she is alleging is a twist of the facts. She took innocent facts and she twisted it around. And he's got he spends a lot of words explaining all these twists and turns. But basically, it comes down to he thought their relationship was great, and then he got this 17-point letter from her attorneys. And just completely out of the blue, didn't know anything about it. It was just a gut punch to the poor guy. So he tried to negotiate with her attorneys. And you guys, her attorneys were so mean to him. They were just so mean. They told him, take it or leave it. They weren't interested in a negotiation on any of these points. So his story, if you believe him, is that he had to agree to this 17-point demand letter from her attorneys for things he totally didn't do. He was completely innocent, but he had no choice, because if he didn't, then the production would be over. right? He couldn't have sued her for breach of contract. He couldn't have, filed an insurance claim for the movie falling apart, right? I mean, it's not like these things are bonded or anything. He had no choice. He had to sign it. Okay. So that seems like a bit of a leap of logic to me. But fine. Even if you believe that, then Blake got even meaner. And she took his movie away for no reason because her lawyers were incredibly good at bluffing. And then she wanted him to apologize. And since he didn't do anything, obviously he couldn't apologize. And, she wanted him to apologize and basically to fire Nathan and Abel and stop doing the PR campaign that he says isn't happening. So, I mean, it seems kind of weird that you couldn't fire the people that aren't doing anything and just say you're sorry. But he couldn't because he's innocent. I mean, now he's innocent. He wasn't innocent when her attorneys were blaming him of stuff. He could have said he was innocent then and said, see you in court. But he didn't do that. He signed the form that said he did all the things. And now, well, he's completely innocent and she's just super mean. I mean, that is the gist of his entire argument. I don't understand how anybody is falling for it because there's not a single fact in it. Every single one of his arguments comes from one of his co-defendants who has also said 3 or 4 different other things. Jen Abel has said that Steph Jones did it. Jen Abel has said that Blake Lively did it. Jen Abel has said that she and Melissa Nathan did it, and didn't they do a great job? And Jen Abel has also said that she didn't do it. Oh, well, that's the truth. Jen Abel said she didn't do it. There you go, guys. I mean, it's settled law. And then you get into Steph Jones. Steph Jones persecuted. Wayfair had no choice but to fire Steph Jones because she just wasn't following the plan. She wasn't doing what she was supposed to do. And that's all well and good until Steph Jones sent him a bunch of mean letters saying that, she has an exclusive contract and she expects them to fulfill it. Okay. Nothing in his letter that I saw is him firing Steph Jones. Nothing in his letter is telling Steph Jones that he has any sort of a cause to fire her or not pay her. She does, in fact, have an exclusive contract during the same time period that he's paying Nathan and Abel to do nothing, and he can't apologize for that. And so Steph Jones, I guess, in addition to committing all these felonies for Blake Lively, also just mysteriously is out to get him for all the nothing he did, and made up a bunch of text messages that just exactly match his actual text messages, minus the emoji, which can't be rendered by forensic software. That's the story in a nutshell. Blake Lively's mean. Her attorneys threatened me and said, take it or leave it. So he had to take it. If you believe him, that's his story. Make it make sense.